Hi everyone, this is Chris from A Bar Above, and today we're going to be answering a viewer's question on how to set up a well system for a cocktail menu, so stay tuned. So in order to answer the question I think you're asking, let's go ahead and take a look at your basic SpeedRack well system that's in front of you when you work on a day-to-day basis. So, if somebody orders a vodka tonic and they don't specify, you typically reach into your well. And your well is set up in a very, very specific manner, and this is the same kind of pattern that I've seen in most every bar I've ever worked in. So you have vodka, you have gin, you have rum, tequila, triple sec, bourbon, rye or brandy, and sweet vermouth. And it's set up in this manner for a very, very specific reason. So imagine that you get an order for a Long Island iced tea, and depending on the recipe that you use or the restaurant that you work in, the alcohols that you need are right in a very, very tight group. So you can grab all the bottles you need, make the Long Island iced tea, and go on to your next recipe. Same thing that happens for a margarita, same thing that happens for a Manhattan. So everything is very, very kind of tightly knit into a very small space. So now let's take this knowledge and kind of the idea of why it's set up the way it is and put it into a cocktail menu program as well. So the very first step that I recommend for kind of building out your house cocktail SpeedRack is to run a report to find out what your most successful house cocktails are. So you really want to concentrate on the top 5 performers and kind of maximize the efficiency of that SpeedRack for those top 5 cocktails. So, for example, if you're working at a place that has the last word as your number 1 cocktail, you want to put that in the prime location where you have the least amount of movement from your workstation to that SpeedRack in order to make that cocktail. So you have your green chartreuse, you have your maraschino, you have your gin. Now imagine that one of the other cocktails they have on your menu is an aviation. So aviation is gin, maraschino, and possibly even a creme de violette. Now, what I would do is I would place my creme de violette right next to my gin, so all of a sudden you have 2 cocktails with 6 ingredients separate, and you maximize them into 4 bottles. So you have your maraschino, you have your gin, you have your creme de violette. Imagine this is creme de violette. Same thing with the last word. You have gin, maraschino, and green chartreuse. And you really want to kind of minimize the footprint that this alcohol is taking up in your well. So that is one way to do it. The other thing is, imagine if you had a Negroni on your cocktail menu. So all of a sudden you have gin, you have the sweet vermouth that's already in your well, and all you need to do is add Campari. But the fact that you have 3 gin cocktails and there's a lot of crossover in ingredients, there's no real good way to kind of maximize this efficiency. So this is where that report's going to come in handy. So at this point, you really look to see what's going to be your better performer. Is it your Negroni or is it your aviation? If it's your aviation, keep your well the way it is, and I wouldn't move a thing. But if it's the Negroni, then I would switch these 2 ingredients out, put the Campari next to the gin, so that way when you make your cocktail, you can just grab these 2 ingredients and then grab your sweet vermouth and you can make your cocktail. So I realize that you're not going to create an entire cocktail menu based off the same exact base spirit. It doesn't seem reasonable unless you're a big fan of that one particular spirit. So you can use the ideas that we're kind of outlining now to extrapolate an entire cocktail menu SpeedRack. So what you want to do is minimize the amount of product and the kind of the footprint that you're taking up, but also maximizing efficiency. So putting light ingredients together to kind of speed along the process, and using that cocktail report to really help you out along the way. So now that we've covered alcohol, you kind of want to take that same mentality and set up the rest of your bar program. So for example, you want to do the same thing with your juices, your syrups, your garnishes, and everything in between. You want to minimize the amount of movement that you have to do from product to product and put everything in really logical kind of clusters so they make a lot of sense and they really help to speed along service. So for the person that asked this question, I hope that we got around to your answer and gave you the information that you were looking for. And if not, please feel free to leave a comment below, go to abarabove.com, or email me directly at chris@abarabove.com. and I will definitely try and answer your question the best I can. And for anybody else that's watching and has a question about their bar program or really wants to know more in a particular area, please always feel free to email me directly, chris@abarabub.com, and I will do my best to answer your question. And if not, find the right person that can help you and answer your question. One of the things I'm really trying to do and really excited about for the future for A Bar Above is to find experts in their area that are willing to share their information with others to really help out this craft cocktail movement and make it even more popular. So if you have a question, please feel free to email me. And if you're an expert and you want to share your knowledge, please feel free to do the same thing. I'm really, really excited to make this craft cocktail movement even more popular than it already is. So until then, I hope you guys have a great shift, and cheers. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, find us on Google+, or visit us at abarabove.com.